Good day, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Samuel Moses from Waymaker Ventures SA. Been having a conversation around how to go global from this pandemic view, and I've been having talks with Gary Fowler, which is a serial entrepreneur, and been involved in various other spaces and what he's doing. So I met Gary Fowler through the Unicorn Battle, Unicorn Africa. Amazing person, great insight, um, full of knowledge and wisdom, able to share his insight with me. And I thought that we just collaborated and we just found synergy through the conversations we had since last year. So I want to introduce Gary Fowler to the stage and say, Fowler, say with us a little bit more what you shared with me. And I think, I don't have to do much introduction. Your name and surname speaks to its volume for itself.
Yeah, no problem, Samville. So my name's
Yeah.
Gary Fowler. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've done 17 companies. I love artificial intelligence and quantum computing. I've been involved in 2 unicorns, Sandville. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce 21 months ago for $1.35 billion. I'm also the co-founder of Eva.ai, one of the top AI HR tech, another unicorn. Formed it 4.5 years ago. It was originally a came out of a Russian company, Abby. And anyhow, so I love AI and quantum. I've written over 112 articles on AI, entrepreneurship, and quantum just in the last year. And I'm excited about the opportunity to deal with um, African startups. Actually, we have our first South African startup that's going to be in GSD Labs. We got yesterday or the day before. So we actually are excited about it. We do, as you said, we work all over the world. We curate companies from all parts of the world, Indonesia, India, Australia, the US, Europe. It doesn't matter really where it is. What really matters is that intellectual capacity is evenly spread around the world, but opportunities aren't. Our job at GSD, which is Get Shit Done Venture Studios, by the way, is to help those companies realize their full potential and using Silicon Valley support to help them get the valuations right, operationally get set up, and get the structure in place so they can dominate a particular sector or space.
That's great. I think what I would love to hear more is that maybe share with us around what is the necessary steps that you take before you take a business into your platform, and just give us an overview of that. Thanks.
Yeah, so there's really two opportunities. One is GSD Labs, which is our global accelerator. No, there's no other accelerator in the world like it. And by the way, I started the first accelerator in Russia. I co-founded and also the #1 private corporate accelerator. So we've been doing accelerators for some time. But what I saw is that there's really a missing link. And the missing link is that one is you do go through a typical accelerator. You get product market fit, you get your MVP, you get your design thinking down, but then what do you do next? Well, you get some regional dominance. So if you're in South Africa or Europe or the US or wherever, Asia, um, and you dominate that region. So how do you get to the point to create $1 billion company? And so I said, well, a lot of it is based on trust, right? If you had a unicorn, people were more likely to invest. I'm a country boy, Sandville, from Pennsylvania. I grew up in a community of less than 500 people. If it was black and white and it had horns, it's probably a cow, right? I'm a pretty simple guy like that. So, keep it simple. And so I said, well, at the third level, to go global, you need to have the contacts, you need to have the trust. I've done an IPO on NASDAQ. I was involved in the team at Click Software. So why don't we use those contacts, and we're from Silicon Valley, to help those companies get out? Because why? The valuations are a lot higher. If I want to get investment from China, from Russia, from Europe, from Africa, I can get investment in Silicon Valley from those groups because they're there. They understand that there's opportunities and exciting technology that has a chance to be able to dominate a space. So they're there. So Magna from Austria, of course, SoftBank. I mean, you name it, Bosch, T-Mobile. They just many thousands of them have their offices there. And the idea is they don't want to be left out. So that's why we use Silicon Valley as a port. In 100 years from now, they're going to write books of talking about Silicon Valley is the Athens of the information age. It's that important. And now, with evolving technologies like unsupervised AI, supervised AI, and quantum computing, it's really a hotbed of those technologies. So I'm excited about it. And again, three steps: acceleration, regional dominance, and going global. And what we did, as I said, especially today, here we are, you're in South Africa. Right now, I'm in Palm Beach in Florida. Jenny is in Moscow, Russia. Here we are from all parts of the world. I almost said the universe, right? But all parts of the world. I just invested in some space tech stuff, and I've been thinking about universe. But all parts of the world, and here we are in an equal playing field. Sandville, a year and a half ago, Zoom had 30 million subscribers. Today, they have over 400. Now, I was one of the original subscribers many years ago. And I remember when one of the VCs invested in Zoom said, you got to try this out. Here's a very cool technology. And my friend said, oh, I don't want to do it. But again, Silicon Valley is a hotbed. And I tried it, and here we are. The world's changed. We have digitally transformed. The opportunities for South African startups to go global is unprecedented. This is a level playing field if you know how to do it. Having people just like yourself as a contact that's there in a local market to be able to work with companies just like mine, to be able to go global is incredibly important today. It is a game changer. It is the way business is going to be done for the future, because we are the digital transformation that McKinsey said would take 10 years has happened in a matter of months. The companies from South Africa that are willing to accept the challenge and believe in their dreams and really want to do it will do it. Now, I'm an AI guy, right? I love artificial intelligence. So on one side, I understand you got to have the right stuff. You got to be smart. You got to have an interesting technology that can do it. On the other side is you have to have operations, and you have to have marketing, sales, business development to make it work. You need to have those incredibly interesting intergenerational, one, culturally diverse, decentralized teams. And that's where the beauty is. And that's where South Africa has an opportunity.
Awesome. I love that. I like the concept behind what you bring to the table, and be able to kind of explain the process of getting these companies on board. And I think that, if we can find more people like you that sees that South Africa has, mainstream and the ability to scale the businesses to that magnitude, I think it's very powerful. And just wanted to get to that one point that you've mentioned. When businesses start scaling through the process of your accelerating program, what else do they stand to get from you as a serial entrepreneur? Because with most of these businesses, they don't understand the climate, the dynamics when it comes to being in the USA. How much more do you put much of yourself and other people that comes alongside these entrepreneurs and these businesses to go global in the States?
Yeah, so there's really two parts to it. So there's GSD Labs. So GSD Labs is basically to help them culturally assimilate and understand the system. So we don't take any equity in the company. It's a global accelerator. They get introduced to investors. We help them with their sales and marketing. We basically prepare them in order to be able to, it's kind of like going out to a party, right? We prepare everybody to get ready for the party. We take them into the party and do some introductions. It's a 10-week program. And the idea is to get them set. At the 10 weeks, if we decide, we look at it, we use it as a filter for GSD to look at companies that can be portfolio companies. So that's to curate them. Many of the companies coming out, in fact, there was just a press release yesterday by US Reporter talking about our model and how different it is or anything in the market today. The next part is the portfolio. So the difference is we take operational roles to help them. Many times, I'll take an executive chairman, even a CEO role in the company. My partner, Derek Distenfield, will take a CRO. Zhenya, my chief of staff, gets involved with the company, working with logistics and helping out. Gus Vidivierta, who's one of the top strategy guys in the world, he's put about $200 million in his pocket. He'll get involved with the company. We have advisors like the former chief security officer at Apple, the former COO of Walmart, regional COO of Walmart, and had been the global HR executive. Spent almost 50 years at Walmart, 50. So he's one of the most well-known retailers in the world. Just we have 100 people, almost 100 exactly like that. And the idea is to make the company look like a company that can be $1 billion company. In Sandville today, we talk about unicorns, but you know something? Unicorns are mythical creatures. It's kind of odd that we talk about something that's not real. The difference is I've been able to be involved with two unicorns and other ones I've invested in, but directly involved with two and had some type of a leadership position or founder. So once you do that, you understand it's not really a mythical creature. It's really, a horse with a horn. It's becomes real. And so each one of the companies out there, the dream is to become a unicorn. What we've done is we've actually done it. So between myself, I've done 17 companies. Derek has done 7. We understand what it takes. And our advisors and mentors, each one of them are experts in a field across the board. So at the highest level in the field. So Rick Orloff is one of the top 5 cybersecurity officers in the world. He was a CSO of Apple and also eBay.
And I think that's the important aspect to have and components. I mean, you have amazing thought leaders behind you backing the process of what you're doing. And it automatically puts the business that come from South Africa on a good footing, entering the market. Because what I've seen with most entrepreneurs and businesses that wants to enter the market is they find the footing very bad, they find the angle coming in is very bad, and they resort back into coming back to South Africa because things didn't work out. So having to work with R Labs, having this connection and this platform makes it very easy, I think, for them to kind of be able to be part of this process. And I think just say more on I think you touched so nicely on the fact that your operational and ownership, where you fall part in, to companies that don't feel comfortable on sharing equity. How does that change the playing field in terms of your platform?
I mean, the situation is, so the companies, in order to get involved, our idea is to create $1 billion companies, right?
Okay.
And normally a venture studio could take 30 to 90% of a company. Well, we don't do that. We do it a little bit differently. And so in doing that, what we do from our perspective is we actually help those companies by a 2-part model. So one is we base it on KPIs. There are certain things that need to happen in order for this to be successful. So for instance, we may set some sales and marketing targets. We may talk about operations in terms of setting an office in Silicon Valley and really helping them operationally across the board, strategy development, work on financial information, help them recruit the law firm, et cetera. I mean, all contacts that we have on that side of it. The other side of it, and so if any executive from anywhere joins a company, they want equity, all right? They're not coming in it for free. I mean, it's great, but our thing is we're creating a business, incredible business. And imagine taking companies from near zero to $1 billion, right? So there aren't a lot of people who have done that in the world. We've been fortunate and want to expand our reach and to help. So on that side of it, we take equity. On the other side of it, most of the companies we deal with, depending on GSD Labs, some of them have some revenue, because what I do is I want to make sure they have product market fit. I want to make sure that they know how to work together as a team. So they've got some kind of revenue in order to qualify to come into GSD Labs. The second part of it is the companies generally in GSD have a minimum of $250,000, bare minimum at $250,000 of ARR revenue per year. Most of them are 500,000. Some of them are 20 million, right? But the key is I want to make sure they truly have got product market acceptance, customers like them, and they know how to work together and support as a team in order to sell, to market, to do operations together. Maybe in a minor, smaller scale, but at least they know how to do it. So those are some of the qualifications. And again, the lab is to get their feet wet. There is no long-term commitment. The idea in the labs is just to curate them to make sure we're comfortable with each other and they're interesting for us. Not every company gets in. It's probably 1 out of 10. But what it is it does, the ones that come in are really ones that we're going to help rocket forward.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're using that due diligence process, because you automatically know as well that you're not going to waste your time with this company that's coming through our doors. And that process, you're not wasting their time, they're not wasting your time, because you're obviously putting a lot of sweat equity, a lot of resources, a lot of connections to make that business a business. What I wanted to ask you is that if a company comes from SA and want to set up do they move the entire firm into the Silicon Valley, or do they have still presence in South Africa and have another office in the USA? How does that work?
That's a good question. So that's that third part, the decentralized team. What we want to do is we put an operations office in the Valley, and wherever they're doing the work. So for instance, if the R&D work's done in South Africa, that's fine. I mean, of course, economically, it makes a lot more sense because the amount of money that folks are making in the Valley is sometimes cumbersome for folks in terms of development. So we encourage them to be local. Our thing isn't to reduce the number of jobs in a particular location. Our job and our idea is to dramatically increase the number of jobs because that company's wildly successful. And so our thing is to be able to nurture that environment, to supplement it. And, the one thing about the States, we're really good at sales, marketing, business development, and operations. I've been doing this for over 30 years. Imagine the kind of contacts that you have in Silicon Valley that you can call up. So name brand folks, their peers, their friends, etc. And, I go to Starbucks on El Camino Real many times in the morning and I'll see Tim Cook in there. And you just see people, Mark Zuckerberg goes to a particular Japanese restaurant, Asian fusion restaurant that I go. It's just, and you talk, right? You see people, hey, how are you? It's like you would any other place. It's just they're well known. And the thing is, its access is important. One of my offices is right across from Stanford University. So imagine, to walking over, I have lunch at Stanford University. So imagine who you see over there. Yeah. But we've been doing it a long time and we're pretty well known in the Valley. So people come to us. We have people on our board of advisors, people like Bill Reichard, Guy Kawasaki's partner, Don Swan, the former CEO of Walmart, the former chief security officer at Apple, as I said. Just incredible people that have really, are the top of their game. And when you come to the Valley or anywhere, as a matter of fact, if I come to South Africa and I say that the former chief security officer at Apple is on our board and I come into a company, it surely gives them a lot of good feelings and trust because they know somebody, they can Google his name, right, or her name. And that's important because today it's about trust. And do I believe what you have is right? Do I believe that you can really execute? And are you good at storytelling?
Yeah, I think, and also that is important. Credibility goes a long way, and transparency, because with most people that I've been also working with and building and raising capital for in South Africa, I found that the only reason why they would work with you and would accept what you're saying is because the referral that comes through a trusted platform makes them more comfortable, like you were saying. Besides what you've mentioned, what other added benefit features does the business would get from the platform? And I've been watching most of your webinar sessions that you had with Kawasaki and the likes of many other very influential people on your platform. So what added benefit does the company get in enrolling in this program? And also maybe touch a little bit if there's a fee. What does the fee look like? What does it entail?
Absolutely. So, I mean, the benefits is that we're pretty well known in terms of in terms of artificial intelligence. We've gotten a lot of kudos. I mean, some, I don't know how it happens, but it happens. We were just listed as one of the top AI executives in the world. So just a lot of visibility. And I write a lot. Right now, I'm writing anywhere between 2 to 5 articles a week in places like Forbes. So we write a lot. I've got this week I'll do, I've done 19 speaking engagements. So you can imagine what happens when you're worldwide broadcasting to hundreds of thousands of people. What happens? You get a lot of visibility. And so that's important for those companies too, because we understand from cybersecurity to supply chain, from unsupervised AI to optimization algorithms, from medtech. I just was on the expert panel in Europe for the drug discovery and artificial intelligence. So we have a wide breadth, and it's important for those companies because we know where to place that company and who that company needs to talk to. And the fundamentals is how to structure it to be able to raise money, because there's some art and some science in structuring a company that needs to raise money. And in terms of the way we work out, so we base it on KPIs. We do have some time-based, so based on time with the company, but it's generally anywhere between 6% and 12%. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's a little bit less. If you have a company with $25, $30 million in revenue, it can be less, but it's all based on what's fair, Sandvo. It's whatever's fair and right. We're not here to treat somebody the wrong way. We're here to build long-term business relationships. So that's that part from our standpoint. On the other side, we don't charge, you're not paying salaries in Silicon Valley of $50,000 or $100,000 a month, or, it's insane there. What I do want is I want to get some of the expenses covered. So if they're a portfolio company, which is the second part, that can range anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 a month. It's just for expenses, right? It's not, you would pay us a lot more if you were doing the salary thing. It's just something that's fair. That's why I say we need to have companies that have revenue, because those are really the ones for us that we feel confident, just making expense money is not interesting. It's turning it into $1 billion company and getting everybody's net worth up, and the company dominating a space is interesting for us. It's not about the expense money. It's zero interesting. What's interesting is dominating the space. Door number one. And door number two is, in terms of GSD Labs is $7,500 for 10 weeks. And it's like a mini course of GSD in a 10-week period of time. You'll meet some of the most incredible investors from around the world. You'll meet some of the best advisors and mentors, including guys like Rick Orloff, that come in and try to guide you and help you understand where your product would fit. So, part of the problem is it could take years to figure out where you really are on a global basis. So why would you want to waste that time and money? Why not figure out now? Because you may have to pivot or not, and you want those contacts. So we've got hundreds of people involved with GSD Labs to be able to help develop those contacts and connections. We don't take any equity through GSD Labs. We look at it as a filter for GSD to see if there are companies that are interesting for us. In terms of the money, it's $7,500 US, but we don't make any money on it from our standpoint. It's cost me more to run the program than it does in terms of getting paid. So what we do use it as is a way to be able to guide. So if I get one company out of 10 that could be a portfolio company, it's very interesting for me.
Yeah. No,
Obviously,
as a
I like to have more, you know?
yeah, no, definitely. I think as I mentioned to you again in our previous conversation, that if I compare your program to the one in Dubai, your program is, in terms of what you adding value to business, I think it's far better because, this, although there is a comparison approach, but I think overall, the support that comes alongside, the structure that comes alongside, because you've been in it for a very, very long time, and you know what works and what doesn't work. I think from my experience, since 2018, been working in the capital raising process, it took me 2 to 3 years to get to the point where I am right now, to be able to kind of leverage that network, and you start appreciating the process. And I think having, businesses now need to realize that putting money into your own development and own infrastructure is going to only be to your benefit. Shying away, if that percentage of what you need to pay and put in place is going to stop you from moving forward and going global, then you're never going to reach that point of, you can speak and dream about it, but you're never going to reach that point. So I think what you're doing is so amazing, and what you're offering South African businesses on this platform is be able to take their hand and say, look, here's a door, here's a gateway. You can enter, but this is the parameters and what we're working, and this is how we're going to guide you through the process. And you've got amazing people that is backing that, and you can put your word into action, instead of just people talking and not walking the walk. So I really appreciate that, and just to be part of this journey is just an amazing experience to also learn from you, Gary. So yeah, I think what business need to realize in South Africa is also to kind of brand themselves properly, because you guys have been in the business for a very, very long time. We still babies to this approach. What it takes to really brand ourselves, to get out there and be able to kind of earmark what is our value proposition, make it stronger, look at the team that is around us. And that's the key part, because I've just spoke to one of the VCs that also mentor and grow businesses in South Africa, Cape Town. And he was saying to me the same thing. Look, we're struggling. We want to get our businesses in the States, but we can't. We don't have the right footing, So my conversation is still happening, and still looking at how, GSD can come alongside and still helping push things forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the situation is, when I went to Russia the first time in 1992, and in 2001, I decided to move over there. And we started the first accelerator in Russia. And that accelerator took off. In the beginning, they said, oh, I don't know. You're Americans. You're this, you're that. Why would we want to go to Silicon Valley? But, then it started an entire revolution. And I'm not single-handedly taking credit, because there were a lot of people involved. But I remember my first entrepreneurs club, and there were like 3 people there. And by the end of it, we had almost 250. And I remember packing a crowd. I was on stage with Guy Kawasaki. I had 2,400 people. We filled an entire conference hall up at the university at Skolkovo, and I had people outside waiting. It was that much. We created an incredible trend. And the situation is, it's a matter of taking a chance. A billionaire friend of mine said to me, Gary, I said, I'm not sure what to do. This is early in my career. I was 21, 22, and I was going to start a company. And he said, let me tell you a little something. He said, give me a quarter, 25 cents. I said, yeah. He said, now I'm going to flip it in the air. And he said, tell me what it is. I said, well, heads. He said, he looked, he said, it is heads. But he said, Gary, if you wouldn't have taken a chance, you have 0 chance of being successful. 0. He said, being an entrepreneur is about taking some calculated risk. At the same time, we've done it. There aren't a lot of people out there that have created 2 unicorns, right? And Derek with a 3rd. So we're bringing expertise and context, having already done a NASDAQ IPO. So we've already done a listing. And so bringing that 30 plus years experience on my side and Derek's 15 has a dramatic impact because they know who we are, right? I speak a lot. Like I said, just last year, I probably did 350, 400 speaking events around the world. So let's do this with South Africa. The thing is, with those companies, look at it. Listen, 100% of zero is still zero. So
Yeah.
would you rather have 100% of zero, or would you rather have, 50% of $1 billion? I mean, you got to give up something to get something if you want other people to be part of your team. They're not going to do it for free. And the thing is, what we want to do is we want to build it together. Not every startup is a right fit for us. And not every startup, there's a reason 9 out of 10 startups fail. And the reason is they don't have the contacts. They have great technology, but they don't know how to take it to market. We have expertise in doing that. We have the contacts and we're ready to go. We're excited about South Africa. We love South Africa. Like I said, we have our first South African startup. We're real proud of it.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about it as well. I mean, for the mere fact that I've been speaking to you and Jane since last year, and up to now, the possibilities and the opportunity that I see in it, it just makes it more concrete for me, and be able to kind of present this opportunity in this platform. And I see this as a twin tower bridge between the two, be able to filter and having this gateway, for businesses to have easy access and to see the value and to see the opportunity and to see that this platform is not just for anyone to come through, Gary, and I highly value the process of how you are taking your time to see which startups, which companies we can turn into unicorns, because it's very seldom we find companies that really comes out of South Africa. We've got amazing companies, we have amazing projects.
I'm going to say one thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just think about this. Of the audience that you have out there, where's Elon Musk from? You know what I'm saying? Hello. I'm a country, but keep it simple, stupid. He's the richest guy on the planet Earth. Hello. This is like, I don't know about South Africa. I don't know if we can do it. I mean, he did it.
Yeah, he did it. No, true.
So the thing is, it's like, the problem is most people talk about it and never do it. The key is get shit done. The name of our company, we came up with that name because in the back of Mark Zuckerberg's office, it says get shit done. It's desk. I said, this is a fantastic name for a company because that's what it's all about. Now imagine, he's now the richest guy in the world, or close, right? It goes up and down every day with SpaceX, with Tesla, PayPal. I mean, across the board. And his solar company. So imagine dominating multiple spaces at the same time and redefining the way the planet is. South African companies have the chance, but they got to move forward. You got to take that leap of faith. If you don't do it, you're going to fail. You won't win if you don't do it, because you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in the dreams, and you got to visualize if you want to be successful. And if not, doing startups is not for you. You got to be sure you can share, take care of people, believe in your dreams. You need to have, when you build a company, you want to have a technologist, you want to have a CEO type, and you want to have somebody that can do finances. So you need operations, right? You need mixed teams, people that bring, not everybody has all the answers, right? It's just doesn't work like that. The thing is, you want to have different ideas to help it grow. And you want to have cultural diversity, all kinds of people, because having different ethnic folks in, having people that have different educational levels in and different backgrounds enriches the company.
I agree with you 100%. I think I'm happy with what you shared with me, and I think that I'll be able to take this to them again and to say, like, here's the opportunity, take it. And I think it's something that they should really invest in with their heart and soul and sweat equity, because opportunities like this don't come along every day. And I think, like you've just mentioned, Elon Musk coming from South Africa made a success out of, his journey in America, and why not?
The
Why
most
can't there be more?
successful in the
Yeah,
world,
yeah,
not just America. Hello, he's got 188 billion dollars. Hello, you know what I mean?
yeah. No,
And
he's
gonna
on a
go
different
to Mars.
space. Yeah, no, definitely. He's already on Mars.
I mean, he's mentally on Mars. He's like Tesla on steroids. So,
Yeah, no,
I mean, in summary, what I'd like to say as we wrap this up, I'd like to
yeah.
say this is the opportunity of a lifetime. The digital
Mm,
transformation is upon us. The playing field has now been leveled. The companies out there need to take a leap of faith and do it. At the same time, we went at GSD, we have concrete plans in place to help those companies grow. Not
mm,
saying the companies don't have to pivot. With Eva, I pivoted 3 times, right? Where Google
yeah.
likes it for the personal cloud. Well, people didn't want to pay for it. Great idea. We got a lot of information and data out there. We pivoted to a task assistant. Well, you can't compete with Google. Then we
Mm,
pivoted the similar technology over to HR, and we're winning. We're winning.
sure.
We're kicking it. So, it's what is it? Nike says, just do it. Well, that's part of it. If you overthink stuff in your life, it's like I can tell you how many times I wish I would have done that. I had that idea 10 years ago. Hello. Well, how come you're rich? You don't have what Elon Musk has. People have been
Mm,
talking about electric cars since the time of Tesla. But,
mm,
it's taken a guy like him. They said he was crazy. I remember going to the dealership, right? And he was there. And they had these Lotuses that they retrofitted with a battery pack. And people thought he was nuts. Really. They said, he's crazy. He had a big payout from PayPal. But look, now the thing is, he's a genius. Can you imagine?
exactly, exactly.
I had
I'm
on my
telling you.
show Per Wimmer. Per Wimmer is one of Elon Musk's friends. In fact, Per's another one of those billionaire types, and an
Mm,
astronaut adventurer. He parachuted over Mount Everest. He's got 4 companies, got a family office, uh, and he said, part of life is about calculated risks. He
mm,
said taking calculated risks, and he said if you keep your curiosity as you have as a child, you're going to win. But the problem is the older we get, the less curious we get and less amount of risk. And
mm,
if you want to have an enriching life, take some risk, have some fun, laugh, do things. And
yeah,
guess what? Good things happen because people want to work with you. People want to get stuff done and they want to share in the success, and enjoy life. So we're happy to talk. They can reach me on LinkedIn, Gary Fowler. You can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Gary Fowler. I love to talk to the folks. Sandville, if you can give them your information, where's the best way to
yeah.
contact you? The best
Okay,
place?
so the LinkedIn is best. I'm also on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and as well as on our website. And so we talk, but I'm very active on LinkedIn, so they can reach me on LinkedIn at Sanville Moses. So that is more of my communication channel. So I thank you, Gary, for this time you set out. Thank you, Janine, for your time that you've made avail to be part of this conversation. I appreciate it, man.
Let's go get them.
Awesome.
All
Looking
right.
forward.
That's
I'm
great.
excited.
Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate your
Yeah,
time. Take care.
yeah,
Have a great weekend. Enjoy your life and get shit done. We're ready to work with you. Thanks, Samville. Thanks, Jenya, for helping.
thanks.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye bye, everybody. Take
Bye.
care of yourselves.